Howdy, howdy, fellas. Got I believe, educational game in the Gdansk today. This is the legendary tier ship of the relatively new alternate pan-European destroyer line. I've generally enjoyed this line all the way up. I think a lot of people
Good
think
luck,
it's
everyone.
overpowered. I think it's one of those ship lines that I don't know that they're overpowered per se, but it's like they do have drawbacks, but like a lot of the ships that get thrown around as quote unquote overpowered, if they don't end up in a circumstance where you can exploit those weaknesses, they can certainly feel that way. And I do think that, with the way Fox Flare works, that's Jersey Swirsky's fourth row skill. When it works, yeah, I think that interaction is pretty nuts. You get, at Gdansk, the radar is already pretty long to begin with. I believe it's 15-second standard radar, and then you add the like 20 seconds of the smoke, and so that's like kind of the best radar in the game on a destroyer with amazing guns. So yeah, I can see why a lot of people feel that way. But some of the drawbacks, this thing has got a massive turning radius. It is quite large. It's got a health pool to back that up, but it's fast enough that it's not the easiest thing to hit. But you can definitely take shots that you wouldn't necessarily get hit with in a smaller destroyer, just because this thing is so big. So I'm opening up. I'm going in between these caps on purpose because if you go straight into B, you sit behind the island and you don't see anything. That's one of my kind of pet peeves that
All
I've
stations,
see
reporting
destroyers
the position
doing,
of strategic
and it's
target.
really frustrating because you can't see what you're getting into either for yourself or your whole team. I'm kind of making my this turn. I start and then I notice this Petropavlovsk
We've been spotted.
coming into the cap here, and obviously that's a Soviet radar that will see me. Basically, as soon as I start completing the turn and notice him, I'm like, oh, I'm in radar range. He's going to radar me very shortly. So I'm really trying to get around the island from his perspective so he can't shoot me and hope that none of those battleships can see me. If they had happened to have their guns on me and taken a shot, I might have taken a lot of damage here, but they didn't, so I kind of get out for free, and they do actually eat a handful of torpedoes on the way out. So at this point, again, because of that large turning radius, because my entire team is kind of pooling over here, I'm actually going to go back around the island. Takes me out of the fight for a minute, but me getting stuck in A when there's already one, two, three, four, five of my ships over here, I'm trading all of my maneuverability and concealment to be stuck in one spot. And I just don't think that's generally worth it in a destroyer. I think I was a T-Bull video I watched ages ago. Rip T-Bull, we miss you. Was on, I can't ever remember the name of the map, but it's got the kind of circle in the middle, and he was like, don't go in that. If you're a destroyer, like, just don't go in it. You get stuck. It's like, oh, that makes so much sense. So, me getting kind of stuck on that little bottom corner of A or on the other side, or like wherever it is, I'm going to be stuck there for a long
Engine
time when
mode
I could be
reactivated.
moving around the rest of the map and spotting, and additionally trying to engage the other destroyer, or the destroyers on their team, if I get a chance to. So that's kind of why I don't move into A to
Concentrate fire on
contest
the
that
enemy
at this
warship.
moment. I also know, that guy's
All
radar is
stations,
going to be
reporting the
up
position of a strategic
um,
target.
eventually. And you may notice that he's another celebrity. So, I'm not really keen to just sit on the edge of that island and, hope that
Concentrate
nothing
fire
bad
on the
happens.
enemy
I'd much
warship.
rather come over here and engage this destroyer. And yep, I spot him. He's actually got a reasonably high detectability. I am running mortar on this one. Um, He's already half health. I think he was actually one of the ships that ate my torpedoes. I
Critical
make a
engine
bit of a
failure.
mistake here. I actually should have saved
Generators
my
lost.
smoke, I think. I'm pretty confident I could have finished him without using the smoke. And I was actually out of range of any other
Problem
ship
solved,
spotting me.
sir.
I think I could have gotten away with that without using my smoke here. But ultimately, I don't know that that matters that much for this match. It could have mattered.
Smoke screen set. All
But I've
stations,
also made,
concentrate fire on the
tried to
target
be too
warship.
cute, try to save my smoke,
All
and then the
stations,
radar runs out, the
reporting the
destroyer
position
gets
of a
away, and we
strategic
pay for it
target.
later. So, you know, I see that going both ways. I could definitely have saved my smoke there and almost certainly gotten the Z52, but
Attention,
I
reporting
also,
the target position.
you know, using the smoke, extending the duration of the radar, making sure the Z52 is off the map is probably worth the smoke consumable. Right here, I'm still kind of pinging this Petro. Somewhere in this point, I was like, oh, that's Metajerk. Like, we need to sink him. But also, you know, he's holding down that cap. He's a nose-in Petro. Like, if someone just goes in there and shoots him in the face, you know, I think every ship in this match, every battleship in this match overmatches him. I believe that's a Burgonia, but I do think the Petro actually has the 26 millimeter bow, so I think even he overmatches him. I could be wrong about that. It's been, I can't remember. I know the Riga has a 27 or 28. I guess it's 27, and the Petro, I think, actually has the one step down. So anyway, he radars me again. I am watching his turrets as they turn to me and start slowing down, like right about the time as they start pointing this way, rather than waiting for them to get this way. Oh, good shells. Somebody shot over an island and hit the island. He's still tracked. Anyway, I'm waiting for his guns to almost get to me before I start slowing. If I start slowing down before they get to me, he's going to know. So he's going to be able to adjust his aim that way. If I start slowing down after, at that range, Soviet shells are fast enough. They're still likely going to hit me, especially given the size and turning radius of the Gdansk. So I kind of timed that perfectly, and every shot missed me there. Certainly could have taken some damage, but, you know. Okay, yeah, this is one of the reasons I made this video. It's like, what is happening? There are 3 ships in this corner. I'm like begging the Alaska not to just run into all my torpedoes, which I've got launched right on the 3. And it's like, what are they doing? If this is a torpedo cruiser or something, torpedo battleship, I could see this. You know, maybe he gets torpedoes off on both sides and he does a healthy chunk of damage in exchange for a ship, which is already a little low. Maybe it's worth it, but like, what is this play? And then I also like the Burgonia is going in too. You know, neither of these ships are really ships that this is a good choice in. They're just going to throw away their ships. The Alaska goes down. There's not much damage. I'm actually at this point intentionally trying to distract the enemy team. If they shoot at me, they are likely to do less damage to me. You know, I can turn out. I'm at far enough. The Gdansk is fast enough. I can hopefully dodge enough that it won't be my life. And I'm just begging. Look, and then here comes another ship through the middle. Like broadside to all 3. Guys, what are you doing? What are you doing? I do get to set some fires and kind of get to farm some free damage on these ships. I think that's a Musashi, so he did just kind of shoot through the nose of Louisiana. But he's also like the Sovietsky Russia is like low health right there, and he's just not even shooting him. He's gonna get. I'm just like, guys, we just threw away 3 ships for like nothing. The Musashi actually does manage to kind of get away. I don't know if, you know, turret traverse or whatever, if they like, just, he could have traded all of his health. That's so, zero lane, Soviet Russia, what I'm just going to call it that, gets there. But then, again, the size of the ship, he gets off actually shooting HE, but I get hit for 4,000 damage there. You know, a smaller destroyer doesn't take that hit into the tail. That's a bit of a bummer. I actually thought I was safe over the island, but never assume you're safe over the island. I still have failed to learn that lesson. Somehow stuff always manages to sneak over and hit me. And the Petro is still alive. Like, all that. And he's still alive. You know, and you can see from his perspective, he didn't just like charge into everything. He just kind of backing up, like, okay, if everything wants to shoot at these battleships and run right in front of me, I'll just sit there and shoot them. And yeah, fine. And so I'm like, oh my gosh, okay. We still have this guy. I've got a Des Moines right here. All he needs to do is sit here and shoot him in the nose with HE. If Des Moines wins that, the Petro might knock his guns. The Des Moines should still have time to kind of just back out of the engagement if he needs to, or nestle up against the island. So I'm like, please, please just sink this guy. Last radar, oh my goodness, but his turrets are turned the other way, so I'm like, alright, I'm going to turn out. I'm just going to try to get some shots. He's at the very edge of my range, so these aren't really quite getting there, although the dispersion, like, come on. Anyway. Just trying to distract him. Petro's got pretty poor turret traverse, so I don't think he's even going to get to me before I get our range and out of radar range. They kept that. Okay, A should be done. B, it's like, come on. 2 ships to 1, who's, what, a third health at this point? Like, just back up. Then I also see, okay, at C, our destroyer is in, you know, far away. They didn't even talk about what was going on over there. There's too much. I can't even. I wasn't looking at it, but I noticed it on the map. If you watch the video back, you'll see there was stuff that shouldn't have been going on over there too. So I noticed this is, I believe it's a Montana, a red Montana coming this way. I'm like, Des Moines, just back up, dude. Please back up. You broadside to a Montana, he will wreck you. Just please back up. Oh, it's a Conqueror. It's a Conqueror. Okay. So, even chance of just having HE loaded, so maybe not as dangerous as an Ohio or a Montana, but still, like, he's got 16-inch guns, 1 AP salvo, or even from a Conqueror an HE salvo, like, that hurts. I'm trying to get some cheeky shots over the island of the Napoli, but I kind of misjudged the angle on the Conqueror, and I'm spotted for a lot longer here than I expected. And I kind of pay for it a little bit. The Napoli does hit me with, is that one? I think that might actually be 2 shells. Napoli's HE is pretty lackluster. Anyway, I take a hit. I'm really trying to get health here because I'm just not feeling good with how this match is going. Please sink that thing. But I do also feel like we might need to get these ships off. We've got 2 caps, but 1 is contested, and we're actually down on points, even if up on ships. Because I do believe they had the caps for longer than we... Yeah, they had A for quite a while, even though our team fully overloaded. Okay, finally goes down. I'm just like, thank you. But I just realistically, with how the rest of this match has gone, I have a suspicion we might need to sink both of these ships. We are up on points, but I would not be shocked if the Des Moines and our other battleship go down. So I'm still trying to play to get these down. I really want to sink the Napoli. He is kind of playing around me because he knows I'm here. But now I see his turrets are pointed the other way. So I'm going to just try to get any damage on him I can just to get this game over. Oh, yep, Des Moines goes down to the Conqueror. Like, he's in B. Conqueror is super low, but he's got super heals. It easily could be he's just waiting on cooldown and just, jumps back up a third of his health. And all of a sudden this match is like a lot less certain than it is. We are down on points. If he flips B, stays in B, we don't get the Napoli. Like, this could actually be a loss. I'm just really trying to get this Napoli off the board. Hits me, I've got my radar and smoke, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, please. Can we please just sink this thing? I launch torpedoes, I knew he might hit the island, but at this point, again, I'm just anything. We've got 3 minutes left. Conqueror's flipping B. We don't get this Napoli off the board. Kind of none of this matters. So even though I kind of thought he might hit the island, I launched 1 close, 1 a little further in case he managed to make the turn, and 1 does catch him. It's just like, okay, now at this point, this should be a win. Except the Conqueror finished the cap. Somehow our battleship at Ace didn't engage him at all. Maybe he's low health, maybe he's being conservative, I don't know. I'm worried that the Shimikaze's not going to cap C, but he does go in. He starts capping it. And I at this point, I hope this is a win. Even if we don't flip C all the way, if we can just stop them from ticking up points, I don't believe the Conqueror can sink the battleship and take A in the time that it takes me to get to C and get to B. But honestly, even at this point, battleships are 100 points. If he sinks that, if he sinks our battleship quickly, this still isn't set. But he does go down, and oh my goodness, that was so stressful. Hopefully that's educational on some what not to do, but also how I tried to play around those choices and keep that game alive. It was really stressful. Oh, also, I made money. You can make money in Legendary tier. It's just not as easy as other tiers. So there you go. Halfway decent game. Have a good one.